again we are underway, so we look to competitor number 201. Michael Hiscock makes the trip up from down there in Maffra in Victoria. He rides his own entry, Michael and Vicky Hiscock's Mewburn Buick. The Gigolo Stallion out of that great mare that Michael won a Gold Cup on in Hazelwood Advice. Into the camp, please. 202, Joe Ma, EB's first cut. 203, Justin Beavers, Neverina, Miss Minaj. 204, Bryony Puttycombe, Toonga Chrome. And 205, Troy Palmer, riding Hell's A-Comin'. Outside, though, this is Michael Hiscock, riding Mewburn Buick. Michael is indeed a previous winner of the Gold Buckle down at the Bateman's Bay, Willinga. Looking to put together a first score here at Willinga at Juandah Plains. We'll leave that one up to the judges. Thank you, Michael. Joe Mars in camp, competitor number 202, riding EB's first cut. Stand by 203, Justin Beavers, Niverina, Miss Minaj.
Score there for Michael Hiscock and Mewburn Buick. 22 for cutout, 57.5 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 82.5. (22, 57.5 and 3, a total of 82.5 there for Michael Hiscock and Mewburn Buick. Joe Ma we watch, he is riding EB's first cut. Made the trip from Mount Marshall up there at Queensland. Joe and Rose and the kids make their home there. Looking for a gate here. This is Joe Ma, competitor number 202, riding EB's first cut. 203 will be Justin Beavers. Into the yard, please stand by. 204, Bryony Puttycombe, Toonga Chrome. 205, Troy Palmer, Hell's A-Comin'. 206, Jack Cable, Cruises Some More. And 207, Matthew Moffat and Ms. Markle. Thanks, Joe. Score there for Joe Ma and EB's first cut. 21.5 for cutout, 61 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 86.5. 21.5, 61 and 4, a total of 86.5 for Joe Ma and EB's first cut. Justin Beavers we watch, riding Niverina Miss Minaj. Justin makes his home at Romba. He'll be followed by 204, Bryony Puttycombe, stand by 205, Troy Palmer and Hell's A-Comin'. Competitors are riding for a fantastic prize pool here in this McKechnie Earthmoving Open Draft, a $50,000 winner's cheque in fact, as well as a beautiful gold buckle made by Ride Tough. Additionally, there is a beautiful embroidered rug for the winner, donated by Toowoomba Wholesale Horse Warehouse, as well as the Champion Choice Brow Bands garland. So an amazing set of prizes up for grabs here with the McKechnie Earthmoving Open Draft. And Justin Beavers has just made his mark on this first round. We will have a score for him and Niverina Miss Minaj. Score there for Justin Beavers and Niverina Miss Minaj. 21.5 for cutout, 62.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, total of 88 for you all. 21.5, 62.5 and 4, a total of 88 points for Justin Beavers and Niverina Miss Minaj. Bryony Puttycombe we watch, riding Toonga Chrome. Brian will be followed by 205, Troy Palmer, Hell's A-Comin'. 206 is Jack Cable, and Cruise some more. 207, Matthew Moffat, Ms. Markle. 208 is Robert Newton, Dust Storm. 209, David Murphy, Shalani Tempo. And 210, Daniel Cheers and Playgirl. Unfortunately, no joy there for Bryony Puddicombe and Toonga Chrome. We will see her again, a great competitor. Already got a couple of scores happening, so bad luck on that occasion, Pud. 205 will move into the yard when our wonderful volunteers sort out that yard, and that is Troy Palmer and Hell's A-Comin', the Willinga Park entry. Troy will be followed by 206, Jack Cable, Cruise some more. 207, Matt Moffat, Ms. Markle. 208, Robert Newton, Dust Storm. 209, David Murphy, Shalani Tempo. And 210, Daniel Cheers, Playgirl. 211 will be Rick Hopkins, Oaks Spinnin' Cat. 212, Amanda Hollis, Adios, Recess. 213, William Chugg, Nandy Eye, New Dawn. 214, Wyatt Young, Condoleezza Smooth. 215, Mark Buttsworth's One Stylish Pepto. And 216, Stephen Hart and The Metalist. In camp, though, this is competitor number 205. Troy Palmer rides that great mare owned by Willinga Park in Hell's A-Comin'. Cooler competitor we watch. Troy Palmer and the little mare with a big heart, Hell's A-Comin'. Lovely mare out of that Impact mother in one hell of a spin. Troy's a previous winner of the Warwick Gold Cup, multiple ABCRA rider titles. He rides for the Willinga Park team. Makes a trip down with his lovely wife Fee and the boys all the way from Coolah. Proud to be here and take part in the inaugural event at Willinga at Juandah Plains. Looking here for a gate is Troy Palmer and Hell's A-Comin', competitor number 205. And I'm quite certain Mr. Snow will be happy with that one. Nicely done, Troy. We will have a score for Troy Palmer and Hell's A-Comin'. Score there for Troy Palmer and Willinga Park's Hell's A-Comin'. 22 for cutout, 61 for horsework, 4 for the course, total of 87. 22, 61 and 4, a total of 87 points for Troy Palmer and Hell's A-Comin'. Jack Cable's in camp. He rides Cruise Some More. Standby 207, Matthew Moffat, Ms. Markle. 208, Rob Newton on Dust Storm. 209, David Murphy, Shalani Tempo. And 210, Daniel Cheers, Playgirl. Outside for Jack Cable and Cruise Some More. Barraba competitor. Previously from way down in the south at Rydell. This is Jack Cable, competitor number 206. Matty Moffat moves into the yard, 207. And Miss Markle, standby number 208 to Robert Newton and Dust Storm. Score for Jack Cable and Cruise Some More. 21 for cutout, 60 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 85. 21, 60 and 4, a total of 85 for Jack Cable and Cruise Some More. Matty Moffat's in camp. Looking over his cattle, he is riding Ms. Markle on behalf of rider Yates. Following Matt, 208, Rob Newton, Dust Storm. Standby 209, David Murphy, Shalani Tempo. 210, Daniel Cheers, Playgirl. And 211, Rick Hopkins, Oaks, Spin and Cat. Good job, Matty Moffat. Score will come through for Matthew Moffat and Righty Yates entry, Ms. Markle. Robert Newton moves into the yard. He is 208 on Dust Storm. Standby 209, David Murphy and Shalani Tempo. Score there for you, Matt Moffat. 20.5 for cutout, 60.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 85. 20.5, 60.5 and 4, a total of 85 for Matthew Markle and Righty Yates' entry, Ms. Markle. Rob Newton is working in camp. I think he's home right here at Juandah. Big thanks to Rob for the support he's been giving our great secretary, Lauren. It's been a big few weeks and we're so grateful to the Newton family. David Murphy, you stand by, and Shalani Tempo at 209, likewise 210, Daniel Cheers and Playgirl. Thanks, Rob. That's time for Robert Newton's Dust Storm. We will have a score for you shortly. David Murphy's in camp, 209. Shalani Tempo, standby, 210. Daniel Cheers. Playgirl, 211 will be Rick Hopkins, Oaks Spin and Cat, and 212, Amanda Hollis, and Adios Recess. Score there for Robert Newton and Dust Storm, 20.5 for cutout, 47 for horsework, 3 for the course, total of 70.5. 70.5 points there for Rob Newton and Dust Storm. Daniel Cheers, we're watching competitor number 210, riding Gwen McMillan's entry, Playgirl. Once again, great to see Gwenny here on site. A long-time advocate for the sport of camp drafting. I'm sure she's thoroughly enjoying the spectacular facilities here at Juandah Plains. Outside for Dan Cheers and Playgirl. Makes his home there at Glen Innes. Following Dan, 211, Rick Hopkins into the camp, please, on Oaks Spin and Cat. Standby 212, Amanda Hollis, Adios Recess. 213, Will Chug, Nandy Eye, New Dawn. 214 will be you, Wyatt Young, on Condoleezza Smooth. Score there for Daniel Cheers, 15 points for cutout, 57.5 for horsework, 4 for the course. And for a total of 76.5. Sorry, team. Daniel Cheers, 15, 57.5 and 4, a total of 76.5 for you, Dan. David Murphy, you went away with a 21 for cutout, 21 points for David Murphy and Shalani Tempo. In camp now, we are watching Rick Hopkins and Oaks Spin and Cat, 211. 212, Amanda Hollis moves into the yard on Adios Recess. Standby 213, William Chug and Nandy Eye, New Dawn. Thanks, Rick. Score for Rick Hopkins in Oaks Spin and Cat. 20.5 for cutout, 48 for horsework, 3 for the course, total of 71.5. 20.5 for cutout, 48 for horsework, 3 for the course, total of 71.5 for Rick Hopkins and Oaks Spin and Cat, the entry owned by Tom and Gwenda Rayleigh. Amanda Hollis is in camp. She rides Tim and Amanda Hollis' entry Adios Recess. Lovely homebred mare belonging to the Hollises. Will Chug stand by 2.13 on Nandi New Dawn. 2.14 Wyatt Young Condoleezza Smooth. You're not far away. Likewise 2.15 Mark Buttsworth and 1 Stylish Pepto. On course for Currabubula competitor Amanda Hollis and Adios Recess, competitor number 212, into the yard, 2.13 William Chug, Nandi New Dawn, 2.14 Wyatt Young, Condoleezza Smooth, please stand by, likewise 2.15 Mark Buttsworth, 1 Stylish Pepto. Negotiating her second peg though is Amanda Hollis and Adios Recess. Thanks, Amanda. We will have a score from our great judges, Mr. Tony Hick and Mr. Tom Williamson. Of 19 points for cutout, 54 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 76. 19, 54 and 3, a total of 76 points for Amanda Hollis and Adios Recess. Will Chug we watch. He rides Nandi New Dawn, another Willinga Park entry. Will makes up part of the Willinga Park team here, so big thanks to him for his efforts in inviting us and having us all here on site, supporting with the cattle and the like. Will Chug, competitor number 213, riding Nandi New Dawn on behalf of Willinga Park. Into the yard, please, 2.14 Wyatt Young, Condoleezza Smooth. 2.15 standby Mark Buttsworth, 1 Stylish Pepto. 2.16 Stephen Hart, the medalist. 2.17 will be Joe Payne on Coal Black. 2.18 Evan Hiscock on Nix. 2.19 Bruce Myers Rumba. 2.20 Jodie Cowley, Smith Family Smooth Class. 2.21 Paul Southern, Canome and Emery. 2.22 Robert Durkin's Gunman. 2.23 Hugh Miles on Amaru Marla's Rose. And 2.24 will be Nathan Garlick and Lethal Rancher. But that was William Chug, competitor number 213, and he takes away a 19.5 for cutout, 54 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 76.5. 19.5 for cutout, 54 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 76.5 for William Chug and Nandi New Dawn. He's back again is 2.14 Wyatt Young and Condoleezza Smooth, his own entry. Mark Buttsworth stand by on 1 Stylish Pepto. 2.16 will be Stephen Hart, the medalist. Thanks, Opie. We'll have a score for Wyatt Young and Condoleezza Smooth very shortly, competitor number 214. Before then, though, we will turn our attention to 2.15, Mark Buttsworth. The man needs no introduction, and nor does the horse in One Stylish Pepto. Lovely horse owned by the One More Syndicate. He's won all the things we want to win, but I can guarantee you he'd be keen to win the inaugural event here at Willinga at Juandah Plains. This is Mark Buttsworth on One Stylish Pepto. I know that one of his owners, Peter Shakespeare, is here, and we welcome Shaky. You're watching on with a keen eye. 2.16 moves into the yard. Stephen Hart, the Metallist. Stand by 2.17, Joe Payne, Cole Black. I'll go back to a score there for Wyatt Young and Condoleezza Smooth. 17 for cutout, 56 for horsework, 4 for the course, total of 77, Wyatt. 17, 56 and 4, total of 77 there for Wyatt Young and Condoleezza Smooth. Outside though, coming across from his second peg looking for a gate, this is Kingaroy competitor Mark Buttsworth and the One More Syndicate owned One Stylish Pepto. Doing what they do best, and a score comes through. Thanks, Butsy. Score for Mark Buttsworth, One Stylish Pepto, 22 for cutout, 58.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 84.5. 22, 58.5 and 4, total of 84.5 for Mark Buttsworth and One Stylish Pepto. Googong competitor in camp now. This is 2.16, Stephen Hart and his entry, the Medalist. Stephen will be followed by 2.17, Joe Payne, Cole Black. Stand by 2.18, Evan Hiscock and Nix. Bruce Myers will ride at 2.19 on Roomba, and 2.20, Jody Cowley, Smith Family, Smooth Class. Outside though, this is 2.16, Stephen Hart and the Medalist. Outside for competitor number 2.17, Joe Payne and Cole Black on behalf of Brett and Wendy Kerr. Joe and his lovely wife Alex make their home at Mundabra. Beautiful little boy. Kenny, we wish them well. He's already got a couple of good ones, has Joe, so we wish them well on Cole Black. Competitor number 2.17. 2.18 moves into the yard, Evan Hiscock on Nix. Stand by 2.19, Bruce Myers, Roomba. 2.20 will be Jody Cowley, Smith Family, Smooth Class. 2.21, Paul Southern, Canome, Emery. 2.22, Robert Durkin, Durkin's Gunman. And 2.23, Hugh Miles and Amaru Marla's Rose. Thanks, Joe. We will have a score for Joe Payne and Cole Black. The horse ridden on behalf of Brett and Wendy Kerr of 21 for cutout, 60.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 85.5. 21, 60.5 and 4, a total of 85.5 for Joe Payne and Cole Black. Evan Hitchcock is in camp. Evan is riding on behalf of Terry Hillier and himself. Now makes his home up there at Collinsville. We saw his dad compete earlier, so it's once again affirms the family sport that is our wonderful sport of camp drafting. This is Evan Hiscock, competitor number 218, riding on behalf of himself and Terry Hillier, the entry in Nix. Bruce Meyer moves into the yard on Roomba. Stand by 2.20, Jody Cowley, Smooth Class. Bad luck, Evie. 22 points for cutout there for Evan Hiscock and Nix. 22 points for you. Bruce Meyer is in camp, but Myers rather, riding the MD Enterprises owned Roomba. Bruce comes to us via Bundaberg. He'll be followed by 220, Jody Cowley, Smith Family, Smooth Class. 221, Standby Paul Southern, Canome Emery. 222, Robert Durkin, Durkin's Gunman. 223, Hugh Miles will be back on Emeroo Marla's Rose. 224, Nathan Garlick, Lethal Rancher. 225 will be Darryl Jordanson, Oak Barn, Thunderstruck. And 226, Riley Turner, Turner's Stud Reward. Working outside though, this is 219, Bruce Myers and Roomba. $20 points for you, Bruce. 20 points for Bruce Myers and Roomba. Bad luck there for Jody Cowley and Smooth Class. Unfortunately, they go out with a no score on this occasion. Thanks to Harry and the boys. They'll jump in and clear that beast from the yard before we proceed with competitor number 221, Paul Southern and Emery. Robert Durkin, please stand by on Durkin's Gunman. Likewise, 223, Hugh Miles and Amaroo Marla's Rose. Whilst we have a chance there, I'll just remind everyone that each round of this McKechnie Earthmoving Open Draft, we do have a highest cutout winner, and they will receive $1,000. And then on top of that, the aggregate cutout winner over the 3 rounds will win $5,000, and also the Tom Strawn Memorial Quart Pot Bronze. So plenty of action happening in the yard, plenty of reasons to find the good points up the front in this McKechnie Earthmoving Open Camp Draft. Run over 3 rounds here with the final set for Saturday afternoon. For now, though, making his contribution to round 1, this is Paul Southern, competitor number 221, riding Canome Emery. An entry owned by Paul and Melissa Southern. Came across from Fallon to try their hand here at the Willinga at Juandah Plains. This is Paul Southern, competitor number 221. Robert Durkin, stand by on Durkin's Gunman, 222. Likewise, 223, Hugh Miles, Amaroo Marla's Rose. And that's how you do it, folks. Paul Southern and Canome Emery go away with a score of 21 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 87. 21, 62 and 4, a total of 87 points for Paul Southern and Canome Emery. We move now to competitor number 222, Robert Durkin and Durkin's Gunman. Lovely young conman sire out of that great mare we've seen in Durkin's Pearl. Robert will be followed by 223, Hugh Miles, Amaroo Marla's Rose. Stand by 224, Nathan Garlick and Lethal Rancher. Daryl Jordanson, you'll be 225 on Oakbarn Thunderstruck. Riley Turner, 226, Turner Stud Reward. 227 will be Stuart Wallett's Buston Style. 228, Tim McLaughlin, Peelvale Chick's Wish. 229, Wyatt Young, making hats off to Shakira. And 230, Stephen McNamara on Remembrance. Working outside now, though, this is Charters Towers competitor, Robert Durkin, competitor number 222, and his entry in Durkin's Gunman.
Okay. 21.5 there, Robert. 21.5 for cutout for Robert Durkin and Durkin's Gunman. Hugh Miles is looking over his cattle. He is competitor number 223 and riding Amaru Marla's Rose, an entry owned by Peter and Carolyn Doonan. Got to give the Doonans a shout out. They would definitely be dialed into the live stream up there at Charters Towers. Peter and Carolyn Doonan own this lovely Amaru Marla's Rose, competed by Tamworth competitor 223 Hugh Miles. Nathan Garlick, you stand by. 224 Lethal Rancher. 225 Daryl Jordanson, you're not far away on Oakbarn Thunderstruck. We'll have a score shortly for Hugh Miles and Amaru Marla's Rose. For now, though, 224. This is Nathan Garlick riding Chris Donahoe's Lethal Rancher. Nathan makes a trip from Townsville, in the north of the state. 225, Daryl Jordanson, you're next in on Oakbarn Thunderstruck. 226, Riley Turner, stand by on Turner's Stud Reward. Likewise, 227, Stuart Wallace and Buston Style. Score there for Hugh Miles, Amaru Marla's Rose, 17.5 for cutout, 53 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 73.5. 17.5, 53 and 3, a total of 73.5 for Hugh Miles and Marla's Rose. Nathan Garlick's out there. He's looking for a gate in this first round of the McKechnie Earthmoving Open Draft. And that's how you do it. We'll have a score shortly for you, Nathan. Daryl Jordanson's on camp, 225, riding Oakbarn Thunderstruck. At the gate, 226, Riley Turner, Turner Stud Reward. Please stand by. 227, Stuart Wallace, Buston Style. Nathan Garlick goes away with a 19.5 for cutout, 59.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 83. 19.5, 59.5 and 4, total of 83 for Nathan Garlick and Lethal Rancher. Galagan Bone competitor we watch in Daryl Jordanson, riding his own entry, Oakbarn Thunderstruck. Following Daryl, Riley Turner will be into the camp on Turner Stud Reward, competitor number 226. Standby 227, Stuart Wallace, Buston Style. Likewise 228, Tim McLaughlin, Peelvale Chick's Wish.
Outside for 225, Darryl Jordanson, Oak Barn Thunderstruck. Into the camp for 226, Riley Turner, Turner Stud Reward. Standby 227, Stu Wallace, Buston Style. Bad luck, Darryl, 20.5 for cutout. For Darryl Jordanson, Oak Barn Thunderstruck, 20.5. On course for 226, Riley Turner riding Turner Stud Reward on behalf of Shane Turner. Great young competitor is Riley. Looking for a first peg here in the first round of the McKechnie Earthmoving Open Draft. Into the camp, 227, Stuart Wallace, Buston Style. Please stand by 228, Tim McLaughlin, Peelvale, Chicks Wish. Bad luck, Riley. On this occasion, we can give you a 20 for cutout. 20 points for Riley Turner and Shane Turner's entry, Turner Stud Reward. On course for Stuart Wallace, 227, riding Stuart and Kerry Wallace's entry, Buston Style. Made the trip from Clark Creek. Into the camp for 228, Tim McLaughlin, Peelvale, Chicks Wish. 229, Wyatt Young, standby on Making Hats Off to Shakira. 230 will be Steve McNamara, Rembrandts. 231, Tamira Bate on Rodell Trooper. 232, Harry Lanark on Exie. 233, Susan Dynastis, Halls Schmick Rio. 234, Matty Durkin, Henry Boone. 235 will be Hannah Blockland on Bluff Downs Bigger Boy. Thanks, Stu. We'll have a score coming through for Stuart Wallace and Buston Style. Score there for Stuart Wallace and Buston Style. 22 for cutout, 61 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 87. 22, 61 and 4, a total of 87 for Stuart Wallace and Buston Style. Working outside now, this is 228, Tim McLaughlin and Peelvale Chicks Wish. Entry owned by TPM Saddles. Tim's come from Peak Crossing, riding Peelvale Chicks Wish. They're out of that lovely mare we saw a few miles in Wishes. Looking for a gate here in the first round of the McKechnie Earthmoving Open Draft is Tim McLaughlin and Peelvale Chicks Wish. Well done, Tim. Score will come through from our judges, Mr. Tony Hick and Mr. Tom Williamson. Wyatt Young moves into the yard, making hats off to Shakira. Standby 230, Steve McNamara, Rembrandts. Score for Tim McLaughlin, Peelvale Chicks Wish, 20.5 for cutout, 59.5 for horsework. 4 for the course, a total of 84. 20.5, 59.5 and 4, a total of 84 for Tim McLaughlin, Peelvale Chicks Wish. Wyatt Young's in camp. He rides Making Hats Off to Shakira. Barry Henson entry. Just sorting out a few cattle here. Once again, the backyard boys step in. Under the guidance of our judges, sort out some cattle to make sure that it's fair for everyone. Look after our stock all the way through. Massive thank you to the Juandah Plains team, the Willinga Pastoral Co. Owned cattle. We're so grateful for the quality cattle that we get to chase across the next 4 days here at Juandah Plains. Don't forget, competitors, this evening we will have an official welcome by Mr. Terry Snow. So around that 6:30 mark, come on over to the outstation watering hole. We'll enjoy a good catch-up with one another, some time together, and then followed by the Hereford Boss competitor meal. So around that 6:30 mark, we're going to kick things off officially. Mr. Snow will address with an official welcome to Willinga here at Juandah Plains, and then we'll go ahead and enjoy a meal together, the Hereford Boss competitor meal. So be sure to have the horses fed and meet us at the outstation waterhole. For now, we do watch competitor number 229, making hats off to Shakira, owned by Barry Henson, ridden by Wyatt Young. Into the camp, 2:30, Steve McNamara please on Rembrandts. 2:31, stand by, Tamara Bate on Rodell Trooper, and 2:32, Harry Larnock on Exie. Nicely done, Wyatt. Score for Wyatt Young, and making hats off to Shakira. 22 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course, total of 88. 22, 62 and 4, a total of 88 for Wyatt Young, making hats off to Shakira. In camp now, we watch Steve McNamara, competitor number 230, riding Rembrandts. We saw Steve have that big win down there in the maiden series at Tamworth earlier in the year. We wish them well on this occasion. 231 moves into the camp, please. Tamara Bate and Rodell Trooper. Harry Larnock, standby at 2:32. Exie, likewise 2:33. Susan Dynastis, Halls Schmick Rio. 2:34, Matt Durkin, Henry Boone. 2:35, Hannah Blockland, Bluffdowns Bigger Boy. 2:36 will be Peter Black's Raycon. 2:37, Lachlan Thompson Reset. And 2:38, Tony Menkins, Hazelwood Harissa. Thanks, Steve. Score will come through for Steve McNamara and Rembrandts. Score for Steve McNamara and Rembrandts of 21 for cutout, 58 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 82. 21, 58 and 3, a total of 82 points for Steve McNamara and Rembrandts. Working in camp now is 2:31, Tamara Bate and Rodell Trooper. Tamara comes from Chinchilla, rides her own entry here in Trooper. Into the camp, please, 2:32, Harry Larnock, Exie. 2:33, Susan Dynastis, standby on Halls Schmick Rio. Likewise, 2:34, Matt Durkin and Henry Boone. 20.5 for you, Tamara. 20.5 for Tamara Bate and Rodell Trooper. Working camp now. This is 2:32, Harry Larnock, riding Exie. Harry will be followed by 2:33, Susan Dynastis, Halls Schmick Rio. Stand by 2:34, Matt Durkin, Henry Boone. Score for Harry Larnack and Exie, 22.5 for cutout, 55.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 82. 22.5 for cutout, 55.5 for horsework, and 4 for the course, a total of 82 for Harry Larnack and Exie. Susan Dynastis we watch, Yarraman competitor, riding her entry Halls Schmick Rio. Susie will be followed by 234, Matt Durkin, Henry Boone, standby 235, Hannah Blockland on Bluff Downs Bigger Boy. 236 will be Peter Black's Raycon, 237 Lachlan Thompson, Reset, 238 Tony Menkins, Hazelwood Carissa, 239 Pete Comiskey, PC Polaris, and 240 Rowan Marks and Turner Marks Linesman. Susan Dynastis and Hall Schmick Rio go away with a 14.5 for cutout. 14.5 for you there, Susie. Matt Durkin's in camp. He is riding Henry Boone on behalf of Liv McCallum. I'm certain the live stream would be flowing there at Woolbrook in the McCallum Arena, so we say a big hello to the crew there. This is Matt Durkin and Henry Boone on behalf of Liv McCallum. 235 moves into the yard. Hannah Blockland, Bluff Downs Bigger Boy. Standby 236, Pete Black and Ray Con. 237 will be Lachlan Thompson's Reset. And 238 will be Tony Menkins on Hazelwood Carissa. Looking for a second peg here, though. This is Matt Durkin, competitor number 234, riding Liv McCallum's entry in Henry Boone. Good job, Spade MD. We've got a 22 for cutout, a 61 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 87 for Matt Durkin and Henry Boone. 22, 61 and 4, a total of 87 for Matt Durkin, Henry Boone. Hannah Blockland's working in camp. She's number 235 on Bluff Downs Bigger Boy. 236, standby, Pete Black, Ray Con. 237 will be Lachlan Thompson on Reset. Standby 238, Tony Menkins, Hazelwood Carissa. Pete Comiskey will ride at 239 on PC Polaris. 240, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks Linesman. 241, Ben Hall, Hall's Poetic. And 242 will be Cara Knutson and Hideout Birdie. Working outside, though, this is 235, Hannah Blockland. And Hannah is riding Bluff Downs Bigger Boy on behalf of T&J Blockland. $20 points for cutout there for Hannah Blockland and Bluff Downs Bigger Boy. 20 points for you, Hannah. Peter Black, we watch. He is competitor number 236, riding Leanne Comiskey's entry in Raycon. Pete makes his home at Alpha. Heading out there looking for a first peg in this first round of the McKechnie Earthmoving Open draft. Into the camp, please. 237, Lachlan Thompson. Reset. Stand by. 238, Tony Mankins, Hazelwood, Carissa. 239 will be Pete Comiskey, PC Polaris. And 240, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks, linesman. Score there for Peter Black and Ray Corn, 21 points for cutout, 55.5 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 79.5. 21, 55.5 and 3, a total of 79.5 for Peter Black and Ray Corn. Lachlan Thompson's working in camp. He's competitor number 237 and he rides Reset. Standby 238, Tony Mankins, Hazelwood, Carissa. Peter Comiskey will ride at 239 on PC Polaris and 240, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks, linesman. Score there for competitor number 237, Lachlan Thompson and Reset. 17 for cutout, 56 for horsework for... Sorry, little technical issue there, folks. We'll come right back to you with Lachlan Thompson's score. But for now, 238's outside. Tony Mankins riding Hazelwood, Carissa. On behalf of Saltwater Stock Horses, Tone makes the trip down, up rather, from Armidale. Into the camp, 239, Pete Comiskey, PC Polaris. Standby 240, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks, linesman. Ben Hall, you'll ride Horse Poetic at 241, Cara Knutson 242 on Hideout Birdie. 243 will be Zane Haberman's Bluey. 244, Jason Lindley, Classic Con. And 245, Peter Knutson, Memphis. So catching up a couple of scores there. Lachlan Thompson went away with a 76.5. 76.5 for you there, Lachlan. Tony Mankins went away with a 20 points for cutout, Tone. Outside now, we're watching Pete Comiskey and PC Polaris, competitor number 239. 240 into the yard, Rowan Marks, Turner Marks, linesman. 241, Ben Hall, you stand by on Hall's Poetic. Likewise, 242, Cara Knutson, Hideout Birdie. 243, my friend Zane Haberman and Louis. Score there for Pete Comiskey and PC Polaris. 21 for cutout, 60.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 85.5. 21, 60.5 and 4, a total of 85.5 for Pete Comiskey and PC Polaris. Rowan Marks is in camp. He rides his entry, the Turner Marks entry rather, in Turner Marks linesman. Ben Hall, please stand by, 241, Hall's Poetic. 242, Cara Knutson, Hideout Birdie, You're Not Far Away. Likewise, 243, Zane Haberman and Bluey. Jason Lindley, his 244, Classic Con. 245, Pete Knutson and Memphis. And 246, John Templeton, Wicked Duck. Working in camp now, though, this is competitor number 240. Rowan Marks and Turner Marks linesman. Just a slight adjustment there to Lachlan Thompson's score, 237 on reset. 17 for cutout, 56 for horsework, 3 for the course, a total of 76. Lachlan, 17, 56 and 3, a total of 76 for Lachlan Thompson's reset. Working outside, our current rider is Rowan Marks, number 240, riding the Turner Marks entry in linesman. Looking here for a gate. Thanks, Marksy. We will have a score for Rowan Marks from our wonderful judges in Mr. Tony Hick and Mr. Tom Williamson. A big job in front of them. 405 first-round runs in this McKechnie Earthmoving Open Draft. And that was 240, Rowan Marks. And Turner Marks linesman go away with a 21 for cutout, 55.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 80.5. 21, 55.5 and 4, a total of 80.5 for you, Rowan. Rowan Marks and Turner Marks linesman. We've got the Muddaborough man in the camp, Ben Hall, number 241, riding Hall's Poetic, entry owned by Ben and Jay Hall. They'll be followed by 242, Cara Knutson, Hideout Birdie, standby 243, Zane Haberman, Bluey. Thank you, Ben Hall. Score for Ben Hall and Hall's Poetic, 21.5 for cutout, 60.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, total of 86. 21.5, 60.5 and 4, total of 86 for Ben Hall, Hall's Poetic. Cara Knutson works in camp. She's riding her entry in Hideout Birdie. Mandubra Lady. We welcome Cara and Das is here as well. Home country for the Knutson clan. Zane Haberman moves into the yard, 243, riding Bluey on behalf of Kerry Thompson. 244, Jason Lindley, You Stand By on Classic Con. Likewise, 245, Peter Knutson and Memphis. 246 will be John Templeton's Wicked Duck. 247, Lex Payne on Lelent Conceit. And 248, Terry Hall, Hazelwood, Coraline. Looking for a gate, though, and done it easy. Cara Knutson, Hideout Birdie. We will have a score for you very shortly. Score of 20 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 86. 20, 62 and 4, a total of 86 points for Cara Knutson and Hideout Birdie, competitor number 242. In camp, here he is, 243, Zane Haberman, riding Kerry Thompson's entry in Bluey. Tom will be watching on the live stream. Hopefully you see her here a little later in the week. 244, You Stand By, Jason Lindley on Classic Con. Likewise, Pete Knutson and Memphis. Outside for Springshaw competitor, Zane Haberman and Bluey. Score there for Zane Haberman and Bluey. 21.5 for cutout, 53 for horsework, 3 for the course, total of 77.5. 21.5, 53 and 3, a total of 77.5 for Zane Haberman and Bluey. 244's in camp now. This is Jason Lindley riding Evan and Kim Acton's entry in Classic Con. Peter Knutson moves in the yard, please. 245 on Memphis. 246 will be John Templeton, Wicked Duck. 247, Lexi Payne, Leland Conceit. 248 will be Ben Hall on Hazelwood Coraline. And 249, Kerry Turner and Hingis. Outside though, this is Jason Lindley and Classic Con, competitor number 244. Score there for Jason Lindley and Evan and Kim Acton's entry in Classic Con. 21 for cutout, 46.5 for horsework, 2 for the course, a total of 69.5. 21, 46 and a half, and 2, total of 69.5 for Jason Lindley, Classic Con. We turn our attention to competitor number 245, Pete Knutson, riding his entry in Memphis. Lovely times up gelding, owned by Pete and Shari Knutson. Big thanks to young Mac. He's been in the backyards today. Great community and Campdraft contributors are the Knutsons. This is Peter Knutson, competitor number 245, riding Memphis. Into the yard, 246, John Templeton, Wicked Duck. 247, Lexi Payne, You Please Stand By on Leland Conceit. Likewise, 248, Ben Hall and Hazelwood Coraline. Thanks, Pete. Score there for Peter Knutson and Memphis. 22.5 for cutout, 61 for horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 87.5. 22 and a half, 61 and 4, a total of 87.5 for Peter Knutson and Memphis. Turn our attention to competitor number 246, John Templeton and Wicked Duck. John will be followed by 247, Lexi Payne and Leland Conceit. 248, Ben Hall, Hazelwood Coraline. 249, Kerry Turner and Hingis. 250, Colleen Smith on Alkins Charmed. And 251, Alan Heading and Macklemore. Yeah. Unfortunately for John and Wicked Duck, they go out with a no score today. The boys will jump in and clear that beast from the camp, and we will look to Mundubbera competitor Lexi Payne, competitor number 247, and riding Lex and Joe Payne's entry in Leland Conceit. Ben Hall, You Stand By on Hazelwood Coraline. Likewise, 249, Kerry Turner, Hingis. Outside for Mundubra Lady, Lexi Payne, competitor number 247, riding Leyland Conceit. Into the camp, please, 248 Ben Hall and Hazelwood Coraline. Stand by 249, Kerry Turner, Hingis. 250 will be Colleen Smith, All Cannons Charmed. 251, Alan Heading, Macklemore. 252, Harvey Wakeford, Tilleen. 253 will be Troy Palmer and Blue Tunes. And 254, Lane Mauler, Daddy Don't Dance. 22 for Cutout Lex, 22 points for Lexi Payne and Leyland Conceit. He's back again. This is Ben Hall, riding Des Castine's entry in Hazelwood Coraline. Following Ben, 249, Kerry Turner, You Stand By on Hingis, and 250, Colleen Smith and All Cannons Charmed. Man of the moment, though, this is Ben Hall, competitor number 248, riding the Conman mare belonging to the Castines in Hazelwood Coraline. Score there for Ben Hall and Hazelwood Coraline, 21.5 for Cutout, 57.5 for Horsework, 4 for the course, a total of 83. 21.5, 57.5 and 4, total of 83 there for Ben Hall and Hazelwood Coraline. Working in camp now, another lovely Conman mare in Hingis, ridden in by 249, Kerry Turner. This combination is a previous winner of the Warwick Gold Cup. One of the pinnacle events of the year. A dynamic combination, undoubtedly. Kerry Turner and Hingis. Competitor number 249. 250 moves into the yard. Colleen Smith and All Cannons Charmed. Standby 251. Alan Heading, Macklemore. And 252 will we have Harvey Wakeford and Tellen. Troy Palmer will ride Blue Tunes at 253. 254, Lane Mauler, Daddy Don't Dance. 255, Penny McIntosh, Hazelwood Co-Pilot. 256 will be Jason Comiskey and Saxon. 257, Jay Hall's Clever Rio. And 258, Matt Moffat and Juliet. Outside, though, this is Kerry Turner, competitor number 249, and Hingis. Score there for Kerry Turner and Hingis, 21 for Cutout, 45.5 for Horsework, 2 for the course, total of 68.5. 21, 45.5 and 2, total of 68.5 for you, Kerry Turner, riding Hingis. 250s in camp, Tansy competitor, Colleen Smith and All Cannons Charmed. Colleen will be followed by 251, Alan Headings Macklemore, standby 252, Harvey Wakeford and Tellen. $17 points for Cutout there, Colleen. 17 points for Colleen Smith and All Cannons Charm. We move to 251, Alan Heading and Macklemore. Standby 252, Harvey Wakeford and Tellen. I'll hand over to my esteemed co-announcer in Leslie Deneen, and we'll catch up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Heidi. Big thank you to Heidi Smith, co-announcer for the next 3 days, 4 days almost. We're getting underway again very shortly. We're just doing a little bit of herd care here. Got a fresh yard. And when we're ready to go, we'll continue on with competitor 251, Alan Heading and Macklemore. Owned by Alan Heading, who comes from Jambin. There are 405 horses to run in this first round. We're up to 250. So my math says that's 155 to run. So it won't be long, and this first round will be completed. That'll be the McKechnie Earthmoving Open Campdraft, first round completed. Once again, a very big thank you to our judges, Tony Hick and Tom Williamson, for agreeing and to judge this draft. And also a very big thank you to Willinga Pastoral Company for the supply of all the cattle throughout the next 4 days. The score coming through very shortly for Alan Heading and Macklemore. Cut out 21.5. Horsework 57.5, course 3 for a total of 82. That's 82 points for Alan Heading and Macklemore. Must have kept going. Next competitor is 252, Harvey Wakefield and Tellon. Tellon is owned by Maslib Metals, and Harvey is from Charters Towers. On camp then is 253, Troy Palmer. Standing by for 254, Lane Mauler. 255, Penny McIntosh. 256, Jason Comiskey. 257, Jay Hall. 258, Matthew Moffat. 259, Hugh Miles. 260, Rachel Cheers. 261, Andrew Turvey. 262, Toby Rolfe. 263, Tim Hollis. 264, John Turvey. Please stand by. Score for Harvey Wakefield on Tellon, cut out 21, horsework 61.5, course 4 for a total of 86.5. 21, 61.5, 4 for course and 86.5 total score. Troy Palmer is on course, competitor 253, riding Blue Tunes, owned by Troy and Fiona Palmer. And Troy's from Coolah. Competitors, if we don't get your address right, you just need to change it on Campdraft Central. There has been a couple this morning that weren't quite correct. So just change your address, and that will be correct then on the score sheets up here. Cut out 21, horsework 59.5, course 4 for a total of 84.5 for Troy Palmer on Blue Tunes. 21 camp, 59.5 for horsework, 4 for the course, 84.5 total score. Out on course, competitor 254, Lane Mauler and Daddy Don't Dance. Into the camp, 255, Penny McIntosh. Standing by 256, Jason Comiskey. 257, Jay Hall. 258, Matthew Moffat. 259, Hugh Miles. 260, Rachel Cheers. 261, Andrew Turvey. 262, Toby Rolfe. Currently watching, competitor 254, Lane Mauler. with Daddy Don't Dance. I'll give you a score very shortly. Cut out 20.5, horsework 60.5, course 4 for a total of 85. It's 85 points for Lane Mauler and Daddy Don't Dance. Our next competitor is cutting out at present, competitor 255, Penny McIntosh with Hazelwood co-pilot, owned by Penny herself. And I hope I get this right. She comes from Lundavra. Standing by, we should have 256, Jason Comiskey, Saxon. 257 is Jay Hall. 258, Matthew Moffat. 259, Hugh Miles. 260, Rachel Cheers. 261, Andrew Turvey. 262, Toby Rolfe. 263, Tim Hollis. 264, John Turvey. Unfortunately, no score there for Penny McIntosh and Hazelwood co-pilot. I'll just tidy up the camp and we will continue on with competitor 256, Jason Comiskey. If you've just arrived, you're watching the McKechnie Earthmoving Open Campdraft. We are going to complete round 1 today. Selecting a beast now is competitor 256, Jason Comiskey and Saxon. At the gates 257, Jay Hall and Clever Rio. Standing by 258, Matthew Moffat. 259, Hugh Miles. 260, Rachel Cheers. 261, Andrew Turvey. 262, Toby Rolfe. 263, Tim Hollis. Please stand by. Out on course, competitor 256, Jason Comiskey and Saxon, owned by J and L Comiskey. Of course, they're from Alpha. 257 goes on camp, Jay Hall and Clever Rio. Standby 258, Matthew Moffat. Don't forget to go and see Sue and Gary at the Emmett Technique stand. That's for yourself or your horse. They are practitioners that practice the Emmett Technique. Now we'll have a score coming through very shortly for Jason Comiskey and Saxon. Cut out 21, horsework 55.5, course 4 for a total of 80.5 points. 21, 55.5, 4 and 80.5, total of 80.5. Out on course, competitor 257, Jay Hall and Clever Rio, owned by Jay. And Ben and Jay live at Julia Creek. And if you get an opportunity to go and have a look at the bronzes, they were done by the very talented Jay Hall. She's not just a good rider, she makes some beautiful trophies as well. Following Jay, we'll have 258, Matthew Moffat. 259, Hugh Miles. 260, Rachel Cheers. 261, Andrew Turvey. And that's time, thanks. Score for J Hall and Clever Rio. Cut out 21, horsework 53.5, course 3 for a total of 77.5. 21, 53.5 and 3 for a 77.5 for J Hall and Clever Rio. Watching competitor 258, Matthew Moffat and Juliet, owned by K&E Hanrahan. Matthew hails from Cabra, and he comes in as competitor 258. Into the camp, 259, Hugh Miles. Standby 260, Rachel Cheers, 261, Andrew Turvey, 262, Toby Rolfe, 263, Tim Hollis, 264, John Turvey. You're currently watching competitor 258, Matthew Moffat. And he has a score of cutout of 22.5, horsework 62.5, course 4 for an 89. 22.5, 62.5 and a 4 for an 89 for Matthew Moffat and Juliet. Looking over his cattle is competitor 259, Hugh Miles, with Destiny's Playgirl, owned by Peter and Caroline Doonan, and Hughes from Tamworth. Following Hugh, we'll have 260, Rachel Cheers, 261, Andrew Turvey. Just remember, the winner of the McKechnie Earthmoving Open Draft will be taking home a $50,000 cheque along with a Gold Ride Tough Buckle. And as I mentioned before, there's an amazing perpetual bronze trophy which has been handmade by the talented J Hall. And a very big thank you to Toowoomba Wholesale Horse Warehouse for providing the embroidered rug for the winner, and to Champion Choice Brow Bounce for the garland. You're watching competitor 259, Hugh Miles and Destiny's Playgirl. Score for competitor 259, Hugh Miles and Destiny's Playgirl, cut out 21.5, horsework 56, course 4 for a total of 81.5. It's 21.5, 56 and a 4 for an 81.5 for Hugh Miles and Destiny's Playgirl. $260 on camp, Rachel Cheers with Don Rika Nimble, owned by Daniel and Rachel Cheers from Glen Ennis. Standing by, 261 Andrew Turvey, 262 Toby Rolfe, 263 Tim Hollis, 264 John Turvey, 265 Sarah Cookson, 266 Robert Leach, 267 Barry Johnson, 268 Ty Blockland, 269 Wayne Deneen, and 270 will be Wyatt Young. Out on course, competitor 260, Rachel Cheers, Don Rika Nimble. owned by Daniel and Rachel from Glen Innes. The score for Rachel Cheers and Don Regan Nimble. Cut out 21, horsework 60.5, course 4 for a total of 85.5. So 21, 60.5 and 4 for an 85.5 for Rachel Cheers and Don Regan Nimble. Next competitor, 261, known as the boss up here. It's Andrew Turvey and Cats and Roses. Following Andrew, we'll have competitor 262, Toby Rolfe. Then we'll have 263, Tim Hollis, 264, John Turvey, 265, Sarah Cookson, 266, Robert Leach, and 267, Barry Johnson. But you're currently watching competitor 261, Andrew Turvey and Cats and Roses. Score for Andrew Turvey, Cats and Roses, cut out 22, 22 only. (262) on cam, Toby Rolfe with Holly. Toby comes from Barrel. Standing by, 263, Tim Hollis, 264, John Turvey, 265, Sarah Cookson. So also, each round of the Open and the highest cutout winner will receive $1,000 as an additional $1,000 if you've got the highest cutout. The aggregate cutout winner over the 3 rounds will win $5,000 and the Tom Strawn Memorial Court Pot Bronze. Cut out 19.5, horsework 60, course 4 for an 83.5 for Toby Rolfe and Holly. It's a 19.5, 60 and 4 for an 83.5. He's out on course, competitor 263, Tim Hollis with Dulcara Victoria, owned by Tim and Amanda. And of course they come from Currabubula. Standing by, 264, John Turvey, 265, Sarah Cookson, 266, Robert Leach, 267, Barry Johnson, 268, Ty Blockland, 269, Wayne Deneen, 270, Wyatt Young, 271, Drew Fowles, 272, Wade Warren, 273, Alex Pope, 274, Fiona Palmer, 275, Brody Puttycombe, and 276, Bo Boytle. Cut out 21, horsework 63, course 4 for an 88 for Tim Hollis and Dulcara Victoria. That was a 21, 63 and 4 for an 88. 264, just heading for his gate, is John Turvey and Willinga Park Fable, owned by Terry Snow. We'll have a score very shortly of 22, 60.5 and 4 for an 86.5 for John Turvey and Willinga Park Fable. So 22, 60.5 and 4 for an 86.5. Sarah Cookson is out on course at competitor 265 with Avenue, owned by Dad Pete from Durham-Bandy. And we'll give you a cutout score for Sarah in a moment. Robert Leash goes on camp at 266, Rockin' in Style. Stand by 267, Barry Johnston. 268, Ty Blockland. 269, Wayne Deneen. So 21 there for Sarah Cookson. Don't forget to go and support Deb's Catering over at the Cobb Industry Solutions Canteen. Please go and support Deb's Catering. Unfortunately, no score there for Robert, riding Philip Mansion's nomination, Rockin' in Style. Just tidy up the camp and we'll continue on with competitor 267, Barry Johnson and Glitter. Barry Hales from Hewenden. Then our next competitor, following Barry, will be 268, Ty Blockland with Wanna Look Sometime. Then we'll have 269, Wayne Deneen's Designer Man, 270, Wyatt Young's Metallic Storm. $405 horses to run to complete the first round of the McKechnie Earthmoving Open Campdraft. You're watching competitor 267, Barry Johnson and Glitter. Standing by then 268, Ty Blockland, 269, Wayne Deneen, 270, Wyatt Young. Score for Barry Johnson's Glitter, cut out 21, horsework 55.5, course 3 for a total of 79.5. 79.5 for Barry Johnson's Glitter. 268 is next, Ty Blockland with Wanna Look Sometime. Then we'll have 269, Wayne Deneen, 270, Wyatt Young, 271, Drew Fowles, 272, Wade Warren, 273, Alex Popes, 274, Fiona Palmer, 275, Bryony Puttycombe. Out on course, competitor 268, Ty Blockland and Wanna Look Sometime. Ty's from the Adelaide River. Give you a score very shortly. Cutout of 22, horsework 46.5, course 3 for a total of 71.5 for Ty Blockland and Wanna Look Sometime. 22, 46.5 and 3 for 71.5. Have a score coming through for competitor 269, Wayne Deneen and Designer Man. He has a cutout score of 21. .270 is now looking over his cattle, Wyatt Young and Metallic Storm. This horse is a syndicate, the Metallic Storm Syndicate owned this horse, and Wyatt is from Tamworth. Standing by, 271, Drew Fowles, 272, Wade Warren, 273, Alex Pope, 274, Fiona Palmer. Okay, just a reminder, anyone who wants to make changes, you really need to do them today, and you really need to do them as soon as possible. Lauren is in the office, so if you want to make any changes, please come over to the Secretary's office and do them as soon as possible. Score for Wyatt Young and Metallic Storm, cut out 22.5, horsework 49, course 3 for a total of 74.5. 22.5, 49 for horsework, 3 for the course, 74.5 for Wyatt Young and Metallic Storm. You're now watching competitor 271, Drew Fowles and Tubby. Drew's from Tamworth. Wade Warren goes on camp with Meg at 272. Standby 273, Alex Pope. 274, Fiona Palmer. 275, Bridie Puttycombe. And 276, Beau Boytle. Score for Drew Fowles and Tubby, cutout 20, horsework 58.5, course 4 for an 82.5, 20, 58.5 and 4 for an 82.5 for Drew Fowles and Tubby. On camp, 273, Wade Warren with Meg. Wade's from Injune. So Terry, Jeanette and the Willinga family, along with Herefords Australia, invite you to a competitor's dinner tonight. So the dining experience will be, the main course is a 300-gram premium Hereford Boss product rib fillet steak. There's a jack potato with sour cream and chives and a seasonal vegetables. The dessert will be an apple crumble and vanilla custard. And please stay for refreshments as the committee greet you to our event. So very big thank you to Terry and Jeanette and the Willinga family, along with Herefords Australia, for putting on a wonderful competitors' dinner tonight. Score for Wade Warren and Meg, cut out 14.5. Out on course, competitor 273, Alex Pope, riding Joe Mansory Augustus, and if that's not right, come and let me know, Alex. Alex hails from Moonby. Standing by 274, Fiona Palmer. 275, Bridie Puttycombe. 276, Beau Boytle. 277, Rick Hopkins. 278, William Tapp. 279, David Murphy. 280, Beck Hayes. 281, John Mulcahy. And 282 will be Daniel Cheers. Just a cut-out score of 20.5 there for Alex. Out on course, competitor 274, Fiona Palmer with winner Lorena, owned by Troy and Fiona from Coolah. $275's on camp, Bridie Puttycombe, standby 276, Beau Boytle, and 277, Rick Hopkins. Score for Fiona Palmer and Bina Larina, cut out 21.5, horsework 56, course 3 for a total of 80.5. So 21.5, 56 for horsework, 3 for the course, 80.5 points for Fiona Palmer and Bina Larina. You're now watching competitor 275, Bryony Puttycombe and EPCD Cat. Standing by 276, Bo Boytle, 277, Rick Hopkins, 278, William Tapp, 279, David Murphy, 280, Beck Hayes, 281, John Mulcahy, 282, Daniel Cheers. Please stand by. Score for Bryony Puttycombe and EP CD Cat. Cut out 15, horsework 48, course 3 for a total of 66 points. 15, 48 and 3 for 66 for Bryony Puttycombe and EP CD Cat. .276 on course, Bo Boytle with Rivers, owned by Don Moffat, and Bo is from Calbar. On camp, we have 277, Rick Hopkins, standby 278, William Tapp, 279, David Murphy, 280, Beck Hayes, 281, John Mulcahy, 282, Daniel Cheers, 283, Mark Buttsworth, 284, Robert Leach, 285, Luke Bennett, 286, Charles Tapp, 287, Laura Kaminsky, and 288 will be McKechnie. And that was a cut out of 13 there for Bo. So for those of wishing to partake of the competitors' dinner tonight, it starts at 6:30 p.m. We will have an address by Terry. Terry Snow will give an address at 6:30 p.m. and the meals will be served around about 6:45. So Terry, Jeanette and the Willinga family, along with Herefords Australia, invite you to a competitors' dinner tonight. The main course is a 300-gram premium Hereford Boss rib product, fillet steak. There's a jack potato with sour cream and chives and seasonal vegetables, and even a dessert as well. So the dessert is an apple crumble and vanilla custard. So please come up and see us tonight for the competitors' meal. Score for Rick Hopkins and Superac Shiraz, cut out 20.5, horsework 62, course 4 for a total of 86.5. So that's a 20.5 with a 62 for horsework, 4 for the course for an 86.5 for Rick Hopkins and Superact Shiraz. Call for his gate and he's out on course, competitor 278, William Tapp and Flash Spot. Williams from Wowan. 279 goes on camp, David Murphy, standby 280, Beck Hayes, 281, John Mulcahy. Score for William Tops Flash Spot, cut out at 22, horsework 60, course 4 for an 86. That's a 22, 60 and 4 for an 86 for William Tap and Flash Spot. $2.79 goes on course, David Murphy with mobile price tag. Into the camp at $2.80, Beck Hayes. Standby $2.81, John Mulcahy. $2.82, Daniel Steers. $2.83, Mark Budsworth. $2.84, Robert Leach. Which you're currently watching, competitor $279, David Murphy, mobile price tag. 127 horses left to run to complete the first round of the McKechnie Earthmoving Open Campdraft. So not a horse's name. Yeah, mobile pro steed. You're currently watching competitor 280, Beck Hayes and Shadak Audi, owned by Michael and Beck Hayes from Yulbar. Beck's out on course, into the camp goes 281, John Mulcahy, standby 282, Daniel Cheers. Score for Beck Hayes and Shadak Audi, cut out 21.5, horsework 62.5, course 4 for an 88. It's 21.5, 62.5 and a 4 for an 88 for Beck Hayes and Shadak Audi. Is out on course, competitor 281, John Mulcahy and Stratton TKO. John hails from Roma. Then we have competitor 282, Daniel Cheers, 283, Mark Budsworth, 284, Robert Leach, 285, Luke Bennett, 286, Charles Tapp, 287, Laura Comiskey, 288, McKechnie. He heads for his gate. We'll have a score very shortly for competitor 281, John Mulcahy and Stratton TKO. Cut out 21.5, horsework 61, course 4 for an 86.5. 21.5 with a 61 and 4 for course is an 86.5 for John Mulcahy and Stratton TKO. Out on course, competitor 282, Daniel Cheers, riding Joseph. And Joseph is owned by Gwen McMillan. Daniel comes from Glen Innes. Gwen McMillan, big supporter of camp drafting, bred a lot of horses, but certainly sponsors a lot of camp drafting throughout southeast Queensland. Into the camp then goes competitor 283, Mark Budsworth, standby 284, Robert Leach, 285, Luke Bennett, 286, Charles Tapp. 22 only there for Daniel. This is competitor 283, Mark Buttsworth and Peps Double Ray. Mark's from Kingaroy. And he's out on course. Someone gave him the memo. There was a cutout prize. $284's on camp, Robert Leach. Standby 285, Luke Bennett. 286, Charles Tapp. 287, Laura Comiskey. 288, McKechnie. 289, Jamie Gray. 290, Byron Davidson. 291, Sky Randazzo. 292, Jim Lawton. 293 will be Heidi Smith. Score for Mark Buttsworth and Peps Double Ray, cut out 22.5. Horsework 53, course 3 for a total of 78.5. That's a 22.5, 53 and a 3 for a 78.5 for Mark Buttsworth and Peps Double Ray. That was Robert Leach. He was competitor 284 with One Stylish Sugar, owned by Chris Cummins from Atunga. We'll get you a score for Robert. That's a cutout of 22 only there. We move down to Luke Bennett, competitor 285 with Little Miss Hooray. Luke is an owner rider and comes from Dundee. Standing by, we should have 286, Charles Tapp. 287, Laura Comiskey. 288, McKechnie. 289, Jamie Gray. 290, Byron Davidson. 291, Sky Randazzo. 292, Jim Lawton. 293, Heidi Smith. 294, Peter Black. And 295, Ben Fogg. Currently watching competitor 285, Luke Bennett and Little Miss Hooray. And that's a 22 only there. 22 for Luke Bennett and Little Miss Hooray. Local competitor, Charles Tapp, comes in as competitor 286 with 2 up. At the gates, 287, Laura Comiskey. Standing by, 288, McKechnie. 289, Jamie Gray. 290, Byron Davidson. 291, Sky Randazzo. Score for Charles Tapp, 2 up, cut out 17.5. Horsework 60, course 4 for a total of 81.5. So 17.5 with a 60 and 4 for an 81.5 for Charles Tapp, 2 up. Looking over at cattle now is Alpha Horsewoman Laura Comiskey riding Skater, owned by J&L Comiskey. Standing by 288, McKechnie, 289, Jamie Gray, 290, Byron Davidson, 291, Sky Radazzo, 292, Jim Lawton, 293, Heidi Smith, 294, Peter Black. That's a 21.5 for Laura Comiskey and Skater, 21.5. .288 heading for the gate, McKechnie and Possum. This is a Mitchell competitor, and that's time, thanks. 289's on camp, Jamie Gray and Pip, stand by 290, Brian Davidson. And the score coming through for Mick. Cut out 20, horsework 58, course 4 for a total of 82. That's a 20, 58 and 4 for an 82 for McKechnie and Possum. This is competitor 289, Jamie Gray and Pip. Jamie hails from Grantham. On camp, 290, Byron Davidson with Berragoon Hussey. Standing by 291, Sky Radazzo. Then we'll have 292, Jim Lawton, 293, Heidi Smith, 294, Peter Black, 295, Ben Fogg, 296, Hugh Miles, 297, Joe Payne, 298, Megan McIntosh. Score for Jamie Gray and Pip is a cutout of 15.5. 15.5 for Jamie Gray and Pip. We're now watching competitor 290, Byron Davidson with Berragoon Hussey, owned by Michael and Maz Glasser. Byron comes from Pittsworth. 291 goes on camp, Sky Radazzo, standing by 292, Jim Lawton, 293, Heidi Smith, 294, Peter Black. please come and join Terry Jeanette and the Willinga family tonight, and also very big thank you to Herefords Australia for providing our competitors' meal tonight. We'll be starting at about 6:30. And that's time, thank you. Score for Byron Davidson's Berragoon Hussey, cut out 20.5, horsework 54.5, course 3, for a total of 78. That's 78 for Byron Davidson. Next competitor, 291, Sky Radazzo, riding Romeo's Child, owned by Terry Snow. And Sky comes from Ulladulla. So this is Terry Snow's nomination, Romeo's Child. And she's out on course. Into the camp goes 292, Jim Lawton, stand by 293, Heidi Smith, 294, Peter Black, 295, Ben Fogg, 296, Hugh Miles, 297, Joe Payne, 298, Megan McIntosh, 299, Peter Webster. Please stand by. So 20 only there for Sky Randazzo and Romeo's Child. Score coming through for Jim Lawton and Rumba, cut out 20.5, horsework 54.5, course 3 for a total of 78. That's a 20.5, 54.5 and a 3 for a 78 for Jim Lawton and Rumba. And here she is, the co-announcer, Heidi Smith, competitor 293, riding Smith Family Gypsy Cat, all the way from Dungowan. You're watching competitor 293, Heidi Smith with Smith Family Gypsy Cat. Into the camps 294, Peter Black and Child Play. Standby 295, Ben Fogg. 296, Hugh Miles. 297, Joe Payne. Score for Heidi Smith and Smith Family Gypsy Cat, cut out 18.5, horsework 56.5, course 3 for a total of 78. It's an 18.5, 56.5 and a 3 for a 78 for Heidi Smith and Smith Family Gypsy Cat. Out on course, competitor 294, Peter Black and Child Play. Peter Hales from Alpha. Into the camp then 295, Ben Fogg. Standby 296, Hugh Miles. 297, Joe Payne. 298, Megan McIntosh. 299, Peter Webster. 300 will be Jason Dorstein. 301, Lloyd Davidson. 302, Rowan Marks. 303, Carolyn Roberts. And 304, Tom Barnes. Please stand by. Score for Peter Black and Child Play, cut out 23, horsework 54.5, course 3 for a total of 80.5. So 23, 54.5 and a 3 for an 80.5 for Peter Black and Child Play. This is competitor 295, Ben Fogg and Lease. Ben is from Toogoolawah. Our Victorian counterparts up here think we've got funny names for our small towns. The score coming through very shortly for 295, Ben Fogg and Lease. It's a cutout of 22. Horsework 60.5, course 4 for a total of 86.5. 22, 60.5 and 4 for an 86.5. Ben Fogg and Lease. Next competitor 296, Hugh Miles and More Spoonful, owned by Peter and Carolyn Doonan. Hugh hails from Tamworth. Waiting on camp is competitor 297, Joe Payne and Girl Style. Standing by 298, Megan McIntosh. 299, Peter Webster, and 300 is Jason Dawston. And of course we will take a short break and harrow the arena after competitor 300. So there will be another little break. And we'll continue on then with 301, Lloyd Davidson. Score for Hugh Miles and More Spoonful, cut out 21, horsework 63, course 4 for a total of 88. It's 88 points for Hugh Miles and More Spoonful. And don't forget to go and support the Emmett Technique people. That's for your horse or for yourself. Fast and effective light touch body therapy. As I said, for humans, horses and dogs. There's no dogs on the ground though, so they're going to miss out this weekend. But Emmett Technique are here. I've had some very relaxed looking people come back after their treatments this afternoon, so would recommend it. $297 on course, Joe Payne and Girl Style. Standing by 298, Megan McIntosh. 299, Peter Webster. 300, Jason Dorstein. 301, Lloyd Davidson. 302, Rowan Marks. 303, Carolyn Roberts. 304, Tom Barnes. But don't forget, we're going to take a short break at 300. Score for Joe Payne and Girls Style, cut out 19, horsework 60.5, course 4 for
Ladies
an
and gentlemen, I am here with the
83.5,
General Manager of
19,
Willinga Pastoral Code, Mr.
60.5
Andrew.
and 4 for an 83.5. Joe Payne and Girls Style. $2.98 on camp, Megan McIntosh with Carrigan's Footsie, commonly known as Goldie, and Megan hails from Warra. Peter Webster standing by at $2.99, riding Concertina, stand by 300, Jason Dawston. So don't forget to go and support our trade stalls. The Pump House, that's Shane Steer, Verback, Sally Gavin and Adriana Potts. Revive Timber and Deck Maintenance, Jono, Sophie and Michelle. Western Truck Group, that's Erin Clark. There's also vendor stalls, KDB Western Wear, men's and ladies wear, Ivy and Gus. There's a boutique leather goods, bags and clutches. Life Flight informational stand. Just confirming the score for Megan McIntosh with Carrigan's Footsie. This is Goldie. We do have a score for Peter Webster in the interim. He is a 20.5, Peter Webster and Concertina. And then we have 300. This is our last competitor before we drag the arena, Jason Dawston with Bar 1 Classic Impression. I'm just waiting to confirm Megan McIntosh's score. You're watching competitor 300, Jason Dawston with Bar 1 Classic Impression. Okay, score coming through for Megan McIntosh and Carrigan's Footsie. Cut out 19. Horsework 59.5, course 4 for a total of 82.5. It's a cut out of 19, horsework 59.5, course 4 for an 82.5. Of course, Peter Webster followed with a cutout of 20.5, and I'll give you a score very shortly for Jason Dawston and Bar 1 Classic Impression. That's a cutout of 15.5 only. Cutout of 15.5 for Jason Dawston and Bar 1 Classic Impression. So don't forget to go and support the trade stalls in this break if you can. The Pump House, that's Shane Steer, Verback, Sally Gavin and Adriana Potts. There's Revive Timber and Deck Maintenance, Jono, Sophie and Michelle. And the Western Truck Group, Erin Clark. There's also vendor stalls, KDB Western Wear, men's and ladies wear, Ivy and Gus. There's boutique leather goods, bags and clutches, and Life Flight has an informational stand.